Welcome to the first episode of my new player journey series. By the end of this episode, you'll have your character created, your settings adjusted, your first set of gear equipped, your first horse claimed, and you'll be ready to continue adventure in Black Desert. First decision you'll have to make is choosing your class. This can honestly be pretty overwhelming since there are so many options available, and I highly recommend watching a few class videos to see which one looks the most fun to you. My biggest piece of advice is to choose something you generally enjoy and ignore tier lists for now. You'll almost always grind longer and have more fun in a class you actually like rather than one that's considered meta. Plus, the meta changes all the time anyways. For this series, I'm going to be playing Seraph since she's currently my favorite class. Once you've selected your class, you'll notice a bunch of buttons and options that can look a little confusing, so let me quickly walk you through them. The first option you'll see is your horoscope. Honestly, this doesn't really matter for progression, so don't spend too much time thinking about it. Just choose whichever one sounds the coolest to you. Next, you can completely customize your character if you'd like. I recommend clicking looks in the bottom right corner to switch from the costume view to your character's base appearance, as this gives you full access to things like hairstyles and other appearance options. However, if you're like me and you just want to go into the game, you can also use a preset created by another player by simply opening the customization album, browsing until you find one you like, and then click apply. If the creator hasn't locked the preset, you can still make your own adjustments afterwards, so don't worry if it's not exactly how you want it. You can also change your appearance later for free, so there's no pressure to make anything perfect right away. Once you're happy with how your character looks, you'll notice there are two different names, your family name and your character name. Your family name is shared across every character on your account and essentially your account name. Since this is a brand new account, the game gives you a default family name for now, but you'll be able to change it later as you progress. Your character name is unique to this specific character, so this is the name you'll need to decide on now. Once you found one you like, make sure to click check to verify it's available. If you skip this step, you won't be able to create your character. Once your name has been verified and everything looks good, click create character and let's jump into the world of Black Desert. When you first load into the game, you'll be asked to choose your graphics setting. I recommend selecting high so you can experience how beautiful the game looks, or remastered if your PC can handle it. That being said, some players actually prefer the standard graphics, so don't be afraid to experiment. You can always change these settings later. I'd also recommend keeping a low power mode turned off. Since this is your first time playing, I highly recommend doing the quick tutorial. It'll teach you the basic combats, introduce you to some of the game's lore, and even let you jump into combat right away so you can get a feel of your class. Once you finish the tutorial, you'll be asked to choose between 3 starting regions. Since this is your first playthrough, I highly recommend Ancient Stone Chamber. The monsters are lower level, the progression is straightforward, and it's a great place to learn the basics without worrying about getting overwhelmed. Once you've loaded into the world, we'll mainly be following the main quest. Along the way, I'll point out important systems as they become relevant so you don't feel like you're going through 100 different things at once. Before we get started with our first quest, there are a couple of UI settings I'd recommend changing. The first is your chat window. Personally, I like to keep things nice and clean, so I click the settings icon in the chat and disable everything except Whisper, General, Party, and Guild. This is completely personal preference though, so feel free to set up however you like. Some players enjoy having all the chat channels visible, while others prefer a cleaner screen. The next setting I recommend changing is screen shake. Press escape, open settings and search for vibration, and set this to 0. If you like a bit of camera movement, then you can leave it slightly higher. Right below that, you'll also find motion blur, which I personally like to reduce. Once you're happy with your settings, click apply and confirm. I'll also leave a link to my full UI settings guide in the description if you'd like to optimize your settings even further. Now let's start our first quests. If you click the arrow on your current quest, it'll create an autopath line that shows where to go next. Once that's enabled, simply press T and your character will automatically run to your destination. When you arrive, press R to interact with the NPC. You'll be using R for almost every interaction in the game, and T for autopathing, so it's worth getting comfortable with these keys early on. As you complete quests, your character will naturally level up and unlock new skills. You can view all your skills at one time by pressing K on your keyboard. Since your first character is a seasoned character, you'll also have access to the season pass, which you'll see flashing on the top of your screen. This contains a series of objectives and rewards that will help guide you through your progression throughout the season. The rewards on the left are free for everyone, while the rewards on the right are part of the premium version that can be purchased with real money. The first reward you'll receive is the Seal of Journey. This is a special currency used to purchase useful progression items, so go ahead and claim it. Unlike normal items, this doesn't go into your inventory. Instead, it's stored in your Manage Currency tab. You can open this by clicking the icon beside the season pass. I also recommend clicking the little star to favorite it, which will help you to find it near the top every time for easier access. This menu is something you'll use quite often throughout your adventure since many events and special currencies will be stored here. As you continue questing, you'll also receive your first set of Tvalek gear. This is the main gear you'll be using throughout the season, so press I to open your inventory and equip everything. This will give you a nice boost to your stats and defenses, and we'll be upgrading this gear later in the series, so don't worry about enhancing just yet. For now, just enjoy the extra power and continue progressing through your story. Once you arrive at your first town, I recommend claiming your free horse. Press Y on your keyboard to open your challenge rewards. Depending on when you're watching this video, your rewards may look a little different because Black Desert frequently has events and additional rewards available, but as a new player you should have access to a free tier 10 horse, which is currently the highest tier available. After claiming it, you'll receive a box that lets you choose between an R, Do or Not, Dine, and Doom. All three are great horses and everyone has their personal preference. Some players recommend R, Do or Not because of its ability to glide, while others prefer Doom because of its speed. Personally, I would avoid choosing Dine as your first horse. While it does have the unique ability to travel across water, I find it to be the least useful option for a brand new player. For this series, I'm going to choose Doom. Now let's register it. Simply right-click the horse emblem and it will automatically show you the nearest stable keeper. Press T to autopath there. Speak with them, click the stable, then register mount, and you'll finally choose a name for your horse. I'll call mine Zeus. And there we go, you now have your first horse. Since this is a T10 horse, it'd be your main mount for a very long time, so definitely don't sell it. The game also gives you free set of horse gear. While it isn't the best gear available, it's more than enough to unlock some important horse skills and make traveling much more enjoyable. To equip it, stand near a horse and click Mount Information, then press I to open your inventory. Simply right-click each piece of horse gear to equip it. If you don't like how the gear looks, don't worry, just click the little eye icon and it'll hide the appearance while keeping all of your stats, so you get best of the both worlds. Now that our horse is ready, let me quickly show you how to move around a little faster. If you're happy autopathing everywhere, that's completely fine, but if you rather ride manually, this combo will get you around much quicker. From a standstill, press Q to instantly start moving forward, then immediately use drift by pressing A plus F or S plus D. As soon as the drift animation starts, press F to use instant excel. Once you get the timing down, it'll look something like this. There are even faster movement combos later on, but I think this is the easiest one to learn and it'll be more than enough for now. If your horses happen to die, don't panic, it's really easy to recover. Simply click the magnifying glass and search for stable to find the nearest stable keeper. Once you get there, click stable, select your injured horse and press recover. As long as you have enough silver in your inventory, your horse will be fully revived. After that, just click take out and you're ready to keep adventuring. You'll also receive a free T9 horse. When choosing this one, make sure you pick a different horse from your T10. The reason for this is that if you ever decide to create another T10 horse in the future, you'll need two different T9 horses. So if you picked Doom like I did, I recommend choosing the Arduna or the Dine for your T9. I'd also recommend choosing a male horse since they're generally harder to obtain, and it'll save you a bit of trouble if you decide to work towards more T10 horses later on. While we're in town, let me quickly show you a couple of useful menus. Press escape on your keyboard to open the main menu. If you prefer having it displayed on the right like I do, simply click the align right icon. From here, you'll find a lot of important options including your settings, the central market, the pearl shop, the coupon redemption, and many other menus we'll be using throughout the series. Speaking of coupons, these are basically free rewards, so you're always worth checking for coupons. Websites like Garmoth keep an updated list of available coupons. Simply copy a code, return to the game, then search for redeem. Open redeem coupon code and then press Ctrl plus V to paste it and click use. Repeat this for any active codes you find. Once you've redeemed your coupons, press B to open your mail. This is where your rewards will be delivered. You don't need to claim everything immediately, but make sure to pay attention to any expiring timers. Some rewards do disappear after a certain amount of time, and once they're gone, they're gone. Before we wrap up, there's one last tip I want to give you while you're questing. As you're exploring towns, you'll notice some NPCs have question marks above their heads. Whenever you see one, take a few seconds to talk to them. Doing this unlocks knowledge, and as you collect more knowledge throughout the game, your maximum energy permanently increases. You don't need to go out of your way to hunt these NPCs right now, but if you're already walking past one, it's definitely worth interacting with them. It'll save you a lot of time later on. And with that, I think we're in a great spot to end this first episode. By now, you should have your character created, your settings adjusted, your first set of Tvala gear equipped, your first T10 horse claimed, and your rewards collected. In the next episode, we'll continue the progress through this main story, and I'll show you what you should actually be focusing on as a brand new player so you don't waste time on things that can wait. If you found this guide helpful, I'd really appreciate if you left a like and subscribe so you don't miss the rest of the series. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.